and it was the first tumor that went completely away. Within a short time, all my tumors were gone. I watched them melt away right in front of my eyes. No one was more amazed than I was, except maybe my doctor. I started on the green powder in the middle of July, and around the 1st of November, I got a call from my doctor's clinic asking me to come back and start on an investigational drug that I had already taken, but they thought they had improved it. So I put my jar of green powder in a plain brown paper bag and took it with me and went back up to MD Anderson. I ran into my doctor in the hallway, and he looked at me and he said, "What happened to all those lumps?" And we went in the examining room, and he looked at me more closely. He said, "What have you been doing? Taking snake venom?" And I said, "No, I've been taking this." And I pulled out my green powder. I told him about the lady on the tape, and he was so excited. He said, "You know, we've tested a lot of plant extracts here, but I don't think we've ever tested barley." He said to go down and have a blood test to see what my white count was doing. Our white blood cells are the soldiers of our blood. They fight against disease. The radiation that I had been treated with had caused me to have bone marrow depression. This meant that all my blood components were low. My white count, red count, platelets, all of them. And I had been told that this damage was permanent. And after 4 years of abnormal blood counts, I thought they were probably right. I also had bone marrow biopsies that showed this damage. So I had the blood test, and it turned out that for the first time in 4 years, I had a normal blood count. My doctor was so pleased. He told me that I didn't need to be in their investigational drug program. He gave the green powder credit for both my remission from lymphoma and my bone marrow's return to normal. Later, I had another bone marrow biopsy that confirmed my healthy bone marrow. I believe that Ames green powder was a direct answer to prayer that were offered, the prayers that were offered in my behalf. I never went out looking for it, but the Lord, in His great mercy, compelled my friend to send it to me. I thank God every day for allowing me to live this long. Looking back on my experience with the green powder, I have learned some lessons. Even though I was eating healthfully, my cancer continued to worsen. When I began taking Ames green powder, in just 4 days, my largest tumor began to soften. What this told me was that there was something in this green powder, maybe something that is yet to be identified. But when my immune system got this, it began to function effectively in my behalf. I think that whatever it was is either difficult or impossible to get in our day-to-day diet. So at this point in my life, I started down a new road of understanding. I want to share with you a little about what I've learned. And this may sound just like common sense to you, but you'd be surprised how few health professionals and just ordinary people understand this. I certainly didn't have a good grasp of this concept until the green powder came into my life, and I saw what feeding my cells concentrated nutrients did for me. AIM Barley Life can be called a concentrated whole food because it's made of the powdered juice of the young barley grass. We could never sit down and just eat a whole pile of barley grass, but we can get the nutrients that grass provides in just a teaspoon or two of the juice powder. Each 2 teaspoons serving of Barley Life contains 2 to 3 times more nutrients than are found in a typical serving of green vegetables. This serving also contains a complete profile of all the amino acids, which are considered the building blocks of life. Because AIM Barley Life is a whole food concentrate, it supplies a broad spectrum of nutrients that our bodies need: vitamins, minerals, enzymes, protein, antioxidants, and chlorophyll, among others. These are what our bodies need to stay healthy and to heal and restore. Our bodies were designed to take in nutrients from foods. When Barley Life is taken on an empty stomach, it goes right through into the small intestine, where it is quickly assimilated. Because Barley Life is mixed with juice or water, it is in a liquid form, and this makes it very easy for the body to assimilate it. You can also put Barley Life under your tongue, and when you do that, it goes directly into the bloodstream, bypassing the stomach. So this is very good for anyone who is nauseated. When these nutrients arrive in the small intestine, they act as transporter molecules for each other, and they quickly cross the intestinal wall, get into the bloodstream, and from there, they penetrate our cells. It doesn't matter how many vitamins or minerals you take. If they don't get to the cells, they never do you any good at all. Cells make up our body's tissues. Our tissues make up our organs. Our life and health depend upon our having healthy cells. God made our cells in such a remarkable way that most of the help they need is for us to supply them with nutrients that they can use. If we eat good, healthful foods, then our cells can do their jobs. But if we eat poor quality foods, then our cells weaken, they struggle to perform their duties, and eventually poor health will result from poor quality foods. We truly reap what we sow. Our foods are to our bodies what gasoline is to our cars. High octane fuel will allow our bodies to function smoother and run a longer time. AIM Barley Life is a high octane fuel. So, as you can see, it is the quality of the foods that we eat that determines the quality of our health. When we feed ourselves good, healthful foods, they can begin to heal and restore from the inside out. This is so simple and yet so profound. This makes sense to me. Doesn't it make sense to you? I've often thought, as I'm drinking my Barley Life, how happy my cells are going to be, picking and choosing the nutrients they need right at that time. Drugs can quash symptoms, but they rarely correct the cause of the symptoms. Our bodies are so fearfully and wonderfully made that very often when we start feeding ourselves the nutrients they depend on, they can begin to heal and restore. Drugs act very quickly, but allowing our cells to begin healing takes a little longer. But in the end, this is the better way. Nutritionists in our government are saying that we need 6 to 9 fruits and vegetables every day. Studies have shown that most people eat only 2 to 3 fruits and vegetables a day. Did you know that 3 servings of AIM Barley Life, that would be only 6 teaspoons, supply the nutrients equivalent to 6 to 9 servings of fruits and vegetables? We don't need any hype or clever ads or 7 doctors standing up here to tell us that AIM Barley Life is a wonderful cell food. The results people get when they take Barley Life speak for themselves. The time and care that has been put into growing AIM's Barley Life results in a green juice powder that is teeming with nutrients. For those who like to eat fast food, I'm here to tell you that AIM Barley Life is the fastest food there is. You just put a couple of teaspoons into a glass of water and juice. Can't get any faster than that. If we want to live our lives to the fullest, experience good energy levels while we are young and into old age, and avoid debilitating illness, then we need to start thinking about these things while we are young. How can we maintain the health that we have now? How can our bodies remain strong and healthy? What single thing can we take that will provide our cells with the nutrients they need? I believe that adding AIM Barley Life to our daily diet is the key. How much Barley Life should we take? Well, the answer to that is fairly simple. If a person is young and in good health and wants to stay that way, he might take 2 teaspoons twice a day. On the other hand, if someone has a life-threatening illness, then they might want to take 2 tablespoons 4 times a day. Everyone else is somewhere in between. Because Barley Life is a whole food and not a drug, people can try different amounts until they get up to the level where it provides the nutrients that they need to give them the level of health and energy that they're looking for. AIM has recently come out with a new form of Barley Life, which is called Barley Life Extra. This is the regular good Barley Life, but with fruit juice powders added. This is for children and adults who enjoy the sweeter taste, but who also want to get the nutritional benefits of AIM's barley juice powder. Some mothers are making popsicles out of it. Babies enjoy it in their bottles, and it makes an excellent sports drink. Numerous green drinks have flooded the market, often labeled super green foods. Some of these are nothing more than finely ground dried barley grass, which is cheap to make and allows for a high profit margin. They cannot and will not deliver the kind of results that drinking a concentrated green juice powder will.